So I am house and dog sitting right now.
You do that a lot.
I do. Is
this from the guy that I saw at the grocery store?
We have to talk about that.
All right, it's the Krisha and Frank show. We're on YouTube, obviously, because you can watch us. We're also obviously on whatever podcasting app you're using to hear this.
Yeah. And
we're on many, many different podcasting apps. We appreciate your subscribing and giving us a 5-star rating on the one that you prefer.
Yeah, and thanks for following us on socials.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's being posted. Are you posting anything on socials? Of course,
I haven't. You know what? This is what happens every morning at 6 a.m. My bedstand light comes on at 6. Because at 6 a.m., the YouTube video is posted.
Right.
So and then the classical music comes on at 6:30. But in that time, I wake up and I grab my phone and I literally take the YouTube link and share it to Facebook and Twitter.
Nice.
So that's what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't bother tagging you in it because it would just go into your, what do you call it, photo review or timeline review, and then you never look at it anyway.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Not at all.
You know how many hundreds of things there must be in your timeline review?
Probably.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter. I figured it out eventually. It was a waste of time to...
I don't even, I don't even know where those settings are. I'm just like, I don't know.
Well, they're supposed to notify you that you've been tagged in a photo or that someone has mentioned you in a post. Go to timeline review.
Is it set to where if you tag me in something, it doesn't automatically come up? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can't tag you in a photo on Twitter. You set that.
Really?
It says, it's Krisha Book cannot be tagged in photos.
I didn't know that.
Oh.
I have no idea.
This is why I don't tag you in anything.
Well, it doesn't matter now.
Because you're on social hiatus.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I need to do that. I so need to do that.
You can't.
Right. Well,
we have to take turns.
I can do the job part of it and then not scroll through and read all of the things.
Yeah, I had to completely just be done for a bit.
I have hit so many hide posts. Don't show me any more posts from. It's so many. So much.
There's still every single social media app that I have taken off of my phone is still emailing me and letting me know 6 people that you follow have posted in the last 4 days. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah. So how did we start talking about this? I went to the grocery store and you're cat sitting.
I'm dog sitting.
Oh, not cat sitting?
No, not cat sitting.
Just dogs. Dog and house.
Dog and house sitting.
Not dog house.
Yes.
House and dog. That should be a magazine.
My wonderful 2 dads are out of town, and I am living at their place right now. And the kids were with me this past weekend, and it's nice. And
one of these guys is an actor, and I've seen you and him in shows together, so I know who he is.
Yes.
I am well aware. I've seen him in multiple productions.
And he knows who you are, we have established.
Oh, all right.
Because he knows what this job is for me.
He knows this show.
And you ran into him in the grocery store.
Well, it was happy times. It was right around Christmas, or
it was right between
Christmas and New Year's, and we're going to pick up some holiday items because I think it was the day that Megan was on her way here.
I believe so,
if I'm not mistaken. So
you were post church.
Yes, and Megan was driving here, and we were excited because we had to get kid stuff, and you know how much fun it is to go and buy Uncrustables, and I bought Elf on the Shelf fruit snacks.
Yeah, you can buy those without the kids being here.
There might be some in the freezer.
Uncrustables are my jam.
They're my peanut butter.
I like the Nutella ones.
Oh, they had those at the store, but I wanted to get the kind that Artie likes, so I didn't buy the Nutella.
Yeah.
And then when Megan's leaving a week later, Jerry's like, "Here, you can take the creamy peanut butter that we bought for Artie." And I go, and then they could tell by my face that I like the creamy peanut butter, but I eat the crunchy because it's what Jerry prefers.
Interesting. You could have both.
And sometimes we do, but the ratio, we buy 3 jars of crunchy for every 1 jar of creamy, and I finish the creamy too fast, so I have to switch to the crunchy.
Just buy more creamy.
Yeah. I just didn't want to tell Jerry that I was bending over backwards to accommodate her.
I think she knows.
She'll say you didn't do enough. But anyway, so we're at the store buying kid stuff, and I see this actor, and he is, he's obviously got his mask on, and he's buying things. And I walk up to him and say, "Hello, I'm Frank, and I do the show with Krisha." And this look of just
perplexion,
and he's backing up. He's walking backwards with the cart. And I'm like, I recognize you because I've seen you in many productions, many shows.
Yeah.
And he just is backing up for the meat case. And I'm like, okay, bye. And I went down whatever the next aisle was. There was nothing I needed in that aisle, but I quickly zipped into an aisle.
Yeah.
And then wouldn't you know it, we're now down on the front where the registers are, and we're coming along, and then you can see peripherally that he's coming down that aisle, but he sees us. And he stops 3/4 of the way down that aisle and just waits. So that we go, and I realize what's going on, so I pretend not to see him.
Yeah.
And I keep going.
But also, that's proper COVID etiquette these days.
Yeah.
Is if there's somebody else in the aisle, the proper etiquette is to kind of wait.
We started 6+ feet away, and then we ended up probably 15 or 20 feet away because he was backing up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was never even, and we were masked, and it was never even remotely close. Yeah. You couldn't have gotten a picture of the two of us together because we were that far apart.
And I was like, Frank said he saw you in the grocery store. He goes, and he was like, yeah, I know who Frank is. And
he didn't recognize me though.
He didn't recognize you.
And saying I'm Frank and I do the show with Krisha was not enough of a clue.
But
he wasn't. That's the first thing you hear.
That's not the mindset you're in.
You're like, why is this man talking to me? And then you don't know what they just said. You've totally lost that first sentence.
And especially, it seems like right now, like when I go to the grocery store, and I've told you, like when I go to my grocery store, which is the Fellini Kroger there on Broadway, it feels like an extra level of chaos. Like it's hard for me personally to focus.
I'd like to point out for those of you not in the East Tennessee area that the Fellini Kroger is where Krisha shops in North Knoxville. Mm-hmm. The Lampshade Kroger is where I saw this actor friend of yours, mm-hmm. where the college girls go wearing mm-hmm. their sweatshirts and shorts.
Yeah.
And then there's the Bougie Kroger, which is where I also go.
Which is the Cedar Bluff Marketplace.
Right.
Kroger.
And I always run into somebody I know at the Bougie Kroger.
I can't go to the Bougie Kroger because too many people that I know shop there.
It's huge, and it also has a jewelry store in it. And a clothing store. It's the marketplace.
I love that store.
The Bougie Kroger.
I do love that store.
Well, they have an equally bougie Kroger in Farragut, but that would be 13 miles further.
No.
Yeah, all right.
But I because I have reason to be out in this area near the Bougie Kroger, I have popped in to the Bougie Kroger.
Right, I live
several
reasonably
times.
close to the Bougie Kroger.
Correct. That's definitely the only reason that I have been in the area to go to Bougie Kroger.
Stop giving me these gaping lines to read between. Because I understand exactly what you're telling me, so stop.
Here's something that's interesting to me. So there's Bougie Kroger, right? At Cedar Bluff and Peters Road, Kingston Pike. And then there's one on Middlebrook.
The Middlebrook Kroger.
Yes.
I think we just call that Middlebrook Kroger still.
And it's not a good Kroger.
It used to be the only one around.
And now it's like it gets the runoff. I don't understand.
And I feel bad because Monty was the guy who ran that Kroger for years, mm-hmm. and he ran a tight ship. Mm-hmm. And I haven't seen him lately. I don't know where they.
And there's a Food City on down the way.
Where they sent Monty. That's a good food city.
It's a good food city.
That's the good food city. Yeah. Well, but we go to that. Technically, the Middlebrook Kroger is because it's smaller.
It's the in and out.
You go there and
get your crap and go.
It's like across from the Walgreens. So if you got some other errands to run in that area,
where you can also get your Kroger groceries.
Yeah. So it's so confusing.
But to be honest, I don't like the Middlebrook Kroger. I don't like the way it's laid out. It reminds me of a fresh market.
Well, it's the old style.
Yeah.
They've redone. The Bougie Kroger, when the Bougie Kroger was built, they started redoing them. Like mm-hmm. I think Lampshade Kroger has been rebuilt to be more like the others.
Yes.
Where it's something as basic as which side is the produce on. So when you go to the Middlebrook Kroger,
everything's reversed.
It's a mirror image of all. Why is the produce on the left side of this instead of the right?
My Fellini Kroger is not remodeled under any circumstances, but it does have the correct layout.
And it was got the name from the Metro Pulse or many other mm-hmm. old articles because it's Bizarro World.
It is.
It was one of the first 24-hour places, I guess.
It is. It's always an adventure, and it makes me very happy. Mm. It makes me very happy.
So you were there.
Yeah.
Did we just mentioning that for something? Was there more to that story? Or because
I was so talking excited. About how you running into my friend and our mutual that right now it seems like when you're shopping, it's a little extra chaotic. It's a little, like you have to focus more and you have to be, there's an awareness that you have to have, and you're a little more on edge. And for me, it's like my ADD self, I have a very hard time focusing in the grocery store.
See, now I'm not alone. Jerry is doing that work.
Right.
Jerry's got the cart. Jerry's doing things, and I'm literally looking for things that might amuse a 6-year-old.
Right.
So I'm in a different world.
Yeah.
I'm looking for Elf on the Shelf. They're on sale. They're on the Christmas clearance. I got this, yay!
Yeah.
And that's when I see your friend, right as I'm buying Elf on the Shelf fruit snacks at half price.
Yeah, and so your energy did not match the energy of the other person.
Right, and it's 11 a.m. on a Sunday morning.
And you're like, what the hell?
Yeah. I've already been to 9 o'clock mass. I'm like,
right.
I got caffeine now.
Yeah. So, like, it wasn't, and I think I showed you what he said. Like, he felt badly that he was
it's
just
fine.
like...
All is forgiven. I'm
think
more
it's
happy.
so funny.
I'm more happy to get 10 minutes of material out of it than anything else. That, to me, is the best.
Yeah. Are you going to get the COVID vaccine?
Well, once I'm eligible for it. I know you think I'm old, but I'm not. There's still several layers of people who have to get it before me, and I mean, when it's time. Yeah. But again, I'm not. I'm not 75. I'm not 65. I'm not even 60. Responder. Right. Yeah, I'm not. I don't qualify. I'm not an essential employee. I don't meet any of the criteria.
I probably won't get it until like this time next year.
If sadly I die of the COVID, know that I lived a good life and that I'm okay.
Yeah, same.
Same.
I mean, and honestly, if I die from any reason, just throw my notebooks away and know I'm all right.
Yeah.
God, we're morbid as hell.
Well, I love that part of our show. This is not even a Bone Zones episode. This episode is brought to you by Hutch and Howard.
Yes, Hutch and Howard. So if you're at the beginning stages of your life, or you're in the mid stage and you're looking at making a change, Hutch and Howard can help you find a house to live in.
Right. They'll sell a house. If you're, morbidly afraid of death and you want to get rid of your house, call Hutch and Howard. If you are optimistically looking forward to life, call Hutch and Howard. It doesn't really... Remember, what did I say that one time? I made it up. No matter where you are on life's spectrum.
Yeah. And,
Hutch and Howard.
If you're a commitment phobe in relationships, but you're ready to settle down, call Hutch and Howard.
They are realtors.
They are.
Realtors.
Realtor.
You can find them online at hutchandhoward.com. You can call them at 865-966-5005.
And let's sing them out, Adeem.
All right. I've tangled the
That's okay.
The things.
I'm going to let you hit play and listen to it and see if I can...
Oh, without hearing it?
Yeah.
So I should put both earbuds in?
I mean, you don't have to.
Well, I mean, we've done it where we just had to guess it.
Yeah.
And we usually nail it. All right, so here we go. It's Hutch and Howard jingle time. Wait, nope. I think I closed the... What did I do?
You did.
You saw that I hit the play button.
I did.
If you're buying or selling your home, trust a professional, don't do it
This one's par.
from the Sunflower Field
Oh, wow.
to the Sunsphere Tower. There's a knowledgeable name. It's Hutch and Howard.
Part of Keller Williams Realty.
It's Hutch and Howard.
Each office independently owned and operated. I feel like Gary Owens when you do that thing where you cup your ear. I'm Gary. I got to meet Gary Owens several times in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And he had the darkest dyed fake black hair.
That's amazing.
But he was a very pleasant man.
So you've been dragging this around.
Oh, speaking of Hollywood, it's funny that I happened at this thing of Gary Owens out in Hollywood. And
excuse me, you're not boring me.
No, I know. It's get more coffee.
I'm fine.
When I had my jobs in Hollywood, usually I was behind the scenes at K-Rock, KLOS. Mm-hmm. And finally, I was able to work at this internet company, Comedy World Radio Network.
Comedy World Radio Network.
And nobody wanted to do the Saturday morning show. And I said I would do it on a trial basis. Mm-hmm. And they're like, yeah, what do you know? You're a producer, radio guy. You're not a comedian. Everybody else on the show, on the station, Craig Shoemaker had a show. Bobby Slayton had a show. Ken Ober, the late great Ken Ober from MTV Remote Control, you may have heard of. I don't know. I mean, we had people like was it Ahmet Zappa, Kennedy from MTV. Beth Lapidus would bring in all of these cutting edge comedians on her show, who are all now famous.
Right.
I mean, people that I see these comedians on TV all the time. I'm like, oh, I remember when they were nobody.
Right.
Did you ever hear of a comedian named Morgan Murphy?
No.
Well, you might. She does Kimmel's show a lot, but she might have worked on Kimmel's show. She worked there as a phone screener. She was just nothing.
Yeah.
That's so early in her career. Well, anyway, I get the Saturday show. They're surprised that it's good enough to put on.
Oh.
They gave me a 3-week audition trial basis, and after the first show, they're like, it's yours. You're good enough to do it, because apparently we don't understand why you get more phone calls at 6 a.m. on Saturday than these comedians do.
Yahoos, yeah.
You know what I did? I'll tell you why. Because I said, I'm radio. They were all complaining. Nobody would ever call. I said, I'll get calls. I could light up the switchboard right this second. I'm like, no, you can't. I said, yes, I can. So I did the be caller 10 right now at 866 comedy 3. That's 866 and whatever the phone number is.
Yeah.
Because comedy comes in threes. But I did it in that cadence, and I gave the phone number in such a way that people lit up because they thought they were going to win a prize. Because I said, be caller 10.
You win nothing.
There was no prize.
Right.
But I said, you guys are doing it wrong. You're not.
There's no incentive.
You're not saying the number right. It's simple. It's just. It's simple. It's so we did publicity shots. And I was so excited.
Okay, before you show it, I want to read the outside that says, Frank Murphy, for your listeners, I know you're not thrilled with these, but for now.
Implying that we might get another set of publicity shots down the road.
Let's see it.
And the place went bankrupt. It was an internet company, and the people who ran it out of San Francisco, they got all the money from the venture capitalists. They spent it on beautiful offices in San Francisco. We're working out of garbage in Marina Del Rey, used furniture.
Welcome to media.
Working in construction trailers. So the pictures they did for me.
Wow.
I was wearing glasses at the time, and I hated it because you can't see my eyeballs.
You just see the person taking your picture.
You see the photographer.
Wow. But you look great.
So they're okay?
Except
for the eyes.
Except for your eyeballs are another human.
So I'll show it on our YouTube channel if you want to go ahead. I'm actually holding up a real photo this time. I don't have to make it magically
Do you know what
appear.
I almost did?
Did Dad Dream a Genie?
No, I almost tried to zoom in.
Oh, yeah.
Like
it was on a tablet.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, let me
Can you
see.
enhance, like on CSI? So that is my publicity shot. And one of the last things I did before leaving California.
They're great, though. You look great.
I autographed one.
Yeah.
To Ribs USA, which was the barbecue joint that I used to go to.
Yeah.
And I went and I stapled it to the wall at Ribs USA when nobody was looking.
Along
with all these other unknown actors.
If the person taking your picture had known what they were doing, this would be a fantastic picture of you.
If you could see that I had eyes.
If you could see...
Or if I had taken off the glasses.
Correct. But even, you can wear glasses and do photos.
I was kind of still known as Mr. Owl. He was kind of still riding the Mr. Owl notoriety at that point. But, yeah.
It's just there's another human being in your eyeballs. But they're good.
Now, someone gave you a picture of yourself recently.
So, when Sweet Fanny Adams closed, there are fans of that theater who have been coming since it for 44 years.
It's amazing.
And
what a run that place had.
They are insanely sweet. There are some insanely sweet people. And one of the gifts that they gave everyone in the cast was a coffee mug with our photo on it.
A cast photo of everyone? No. So I have it's just you.
It's a mug of my mug.
So who took the picture?
It was one of the, that was from 2011.
So it's a publicity shot.
It was a publicity shot.
That they took off the internet or off Facebook?
No, the person that actually did this had, knows and had, she had worked in the box office a little bit, so she actually knew who to reach out to get
the good pictures.
Yeah, and these pictures were sent to her by the person that took the publicity pictures.
Okay.
And which is fine. I think the picture is lovely.
But what's weird is when someone gives you a coffee mug of you.
Of you, and now I have it.
Yeah.
And you know me and my coffee mugs. It's not like I'm going to put it in a cabinet and never use it. I love coffee mugs, and I use a lot of them.
I have a coffee mug that I love. It's got the grandsons on it. Mm-hmm. But the problem is it's one of those, it's like yours. It's a white coffee mug, and it stains.
It stains, but that's
fine.
So
I don't want to ruin the mug. I keep it in the cabinet so I can look at it, but I don't like to use it because it stains too much.
I've already served someone tea out of my face.
Plus, you have a mug with your picture on it.
I do.
In addition to that.
Yeah.
You feed them like a baby bird. Here's some tea.
And I was gifted a refrigerator magnet, and it's got
of yourself,
pictures of me. And I was gifted.
All right, just look at the fridge over there. Would you look at the freezer? Sam Metz made a refrigerator magnet of my head, and it's up there near the freezer handle.
Right, I see it.
But that was a joke. That was he was making fun.
But I love this, and they gave us a Christmas ornament, and it has pictures of me as all these different characters, and it says
nice.
thank you for the memories.
Aww.
And that's great. But also, it's a little, if you have a guest over and you know where my coffee mugs live, that picture I just showed you is actually, the first picture is like in my cabinet.
I recognize the mug next to it, not that I zoomed in.
Right.
But the one next to is one that I gave you that when we were cleaning out the cabinet at the beginning of the podcast.
So you can see, if you're just in my kitchen, you can see where my glasses are. Yeah. And it's just my dumb face.
Mug on a mug.
Yeah. And it's not that I'm not, I'm so appreciative of it. I love it. Well,
if you turn it the other way, is it the back of you?
No, I wish. That would be so cool. I wish it were.
Can we have it printed? Is there space on the back?
It's a picture of the theater.
That we can have the back of your head
printed? The outside front of the theater. So
you could turn the mug around, which is a song by Vicky Sue Robinson.
Don't want to see your face. Turn
see,
it
I like female
down.
Disco singers. That's my category. Vicky Sue Robinson.
Yeah, except then the handle would be on the wrong side, and I'm a little OCD about my handles.
Well, then turn all the handles the other way.
Absolutely not. Because when I go to get my coffee mug with my right hand, I want the handle to be in the right place.
But if you're not really going to use it.
I've already used it.
But just once. Are you going to use it multiple times? Is it going to go into the regular rotation until it gets so coffee and tea stained that it's lived its life?
Yeah, like my dad's Far Side mug that I have. It was set up for a garage sale, and I rescued it. Because it's the Far Side, the one where the dog is trying to get the cat into the washing or into the dryer, and it says cat fud. It's my absolute favorite.
I knew the cartoon without even seeing the mug.
Right, yeah. And they had that set up for a garage sale at my granny's house, and I went and rescued it because I've had that mug for ages.
So, but it withholds the constant use. I have wherever my Peeps mug is that I've had for almost, I think, 10 years, but it still looks good.
Yeah.
Because I take care of it. Mm-hmm. But those white ones with the imprints on it, just by definition, they tend to absorb not only the picture that gets slapped on the front, what it gets supposed to.
You understand that this is what we're talking about. Like
it's pretty intense, pretty deep. This is coffee chat. This has been our show. Thank you for correcting. I needed that. I needed that fraternal correction.
I wanted to point out that
we're still recording.
Yeah.
That this is still part of the show.
We're still here.
This is what we would normally talk about.
Like the air. You got to see the beginning of just a regular Krisha and Frank conversation. And I ended it because I know exactly what we're both going to do.
But we can still talk about this as soon as we stop recording. We can finish talking about the texture of the mug.
Right.
Okay. Because I still want to talk about that.
I won't deny you.
I know.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for subscribing. Like, maybe not to this episode, but to other ones. This one's a
This
punt.
one may have just left a stain.
Yeah, this is a do-over. This is a mulligan. This is a punt. But there's better ones tomorrow and other days. So thank you for watching.
No, but I'm not worried about it getting stained.
Maybe you could give you some kind of bleaching solutions, like a hydrogen peroxide.
You're much more worried about it getting stained than I am.
If you can whiten teeth, gotta be able to whiten the mugs.
But who cares?
I do. I don't want to have
then don't use it.
It looks dirty when it's stained.
Either you don't use it, and you don't use it, so it just sits there.
Get a dark mug like that blue one I have.
Right, but what I'm saying is, if it's not
this one is nice.
But if it's not in usable rotation, then what's the point in owning it?
It's got your face on it.
Right, but
you put it in do you have a cabinet, a awards cabinet, a trophy cabinet?
No.
Oh.
Just use it or don't.
I have a trophy cabinet.
That's great.
I could put, if I had a mug of me, I
don't have trophies.
Well, not yet.
Not
yet.
No,
we'll get trophies.
I had a softball trophy that was so tall I had to dismantle it.
You know what?
Because we won state champions.
I didn't tell you something.
What?
I didn't stop recording.